I need to tell you COPA data extraction, right? COPA data extraction. Controlling and profitability data extraction. Profitability analysis data extraction. Controlling and profitability analysis data extraction. So it is a application specific generic extractor. I was talking to you different types of extractors. So application specific, class application, generic, business, and then like this. So it is an application specific generic extractor. Means customer generated extractor. So I was talking to you, SAP ERP system is divided in terms of technical and functional. Functionally, these are the applications: logistics, accounting, HR. So related to accounting, you got two major areas. One is FI, second one CO. So related to FI, accounts payable, accounts receivable, general ledger, special ledger. When it comes to controlling, profitability analysis, product cost controlling, vendor cost controlling analysis. Now this is the application we are talking about. This is the application we are talking about, controlling and profitability analysis. Right? Controlling and profitability analysis. So what is our source system? ERP system. Now we are talking about COPA application. Related to COPA, we are supposed to create the data source, then transfer structure, PSA, transfer rules, data targets, right? Getting my point? So we are supposed to, any application, we are supposed to create the data source. So since it is a generic extractor, we are supposed to create the data source. If we can create the data source, everything is done. The flow is common, no? No changes at all. Right. Right. So in COPA, the data source is created on something called operating console. In COPA, the data source is created on operating console. What is this operating console? See, if you take out sales and distribution, there is some enterprise structure. Always there is some enterprise structure. Similarly, if you take out controlling, there is some enterprise structure. So in that enterprise structure, in controlling there is some enterprise structure. So in that structure, it is the root node. It is the root node of the controlling enterprise structure. Let me show you something here. So this is what your controlling organizational enterprise structure is. So where you have business area, retail is one area. Let's say insurance is one area. Like this business area. Business areas are under company code. One company code can have multiple business areas. One company code can have multiple business areas. So above company code you have controlling areas, or you can say it as profit centers. So above controlling area, you got some operating concern. So this is the controlling organizational enterprise structure. And in this enterprise structure, what is this? Operating concern. This is the topmost node. This is configured by your CO consultant. You are not going to configure this. It is configured by CO consultant. It is configured by CO consultant. Right. Whenever he configures it, system generates 4 different tables. Whenever he configures controlling operating concern, that is sorry. So whenever CO consultant configures operating concern, system generates 4 different tables. So those tables are CE1 followed by operating concern, CE2 followed by operating concern, CE3 followed by operating concern, CE4 followed by operating concern. So whenever I'm talking about controlling, where we are supposed to create the data source. So in controlling, the data source is created on something called operating concern. So the operating concern is the root node of controlling enterprise structure. It is the root node of controlling enterprise structure. So in this structure, right? So whenever it is configured by CO consultant, system is going to generate these tables. Means to say, related to controlling, all the data is getting updated to these tables. CE1 followed by operating concern, CE2, CE3, CE4 followed by operating concern. Whenever actually table is from one to many, schema is many to many. Keep in mind, table is one to many relation. So schema is different from table. Schema is the yes, same thing. I'll show you something. So you can see here. So what is going to be there in each table? CE1, CE2. So there is something called actuals and plans. Related to actual, related to planning. Right. Let me tell you. The operating concern data is similar to our InfoCube data. Operating concern data is similar to InfoCube data. Where in InfoCube you got CARs and key figures. Similarly, in operating concern you got CAR values, nothing but characteristics, and you got value fields, nothing but key figures. Value fields are nothing but key figures. Right, you can see that here now. Value fields and CAR values. Right. So, I just wanted to give you one more point. Related to controlling, data is not directly posted by the user. If you take out other applications like sales and distribution, it is directly created by business user. Sales orders are created by business user. But when it comes to controlling, data is indirectly updated from multiple applications, you can say. So the CAR values are getting updated from SD, FI, you can see. Billing document, posting to general ledger account, you can see. Where you are getting customer, product group, like this. So what I mean to yes, it is getting updated from multiple applications. It is not directly posted, it is indirectly updated from multiple applications. So you can see value fields. Value fields are also getting updated from other applications. So it's not directly posted, it is indirectly updated from multiple applications. Is that clear? Quantity, revenue, sales, reduction. That makes, yes, definitely the document types and all it's going to maintain, yes. So that is because of your module integration. We are not concerned with this. Can get you Santosh. What is that you are trying to say? Hmm. 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 That is where integration comes into picture. Module integration. So that is there. Otherwise, it is just mere business. Always it's going to match your business functionality. That is because of your module integration, which we need that over, which is taken care by the concerned functional consultant. We are not going to develop any integrations. Right. So now where is the data? Where is the data? It is there in different tables like CE1, CE2, CE3, CE4 table. Now from these tables, using a data source, we are supposed to extract the data to the system. Right. So in controlling, if at all any transaction is updated, it is posted in three different currencies. Any document, it is updated in three different currencies. One is company code currency, local document currency, local transaction, then operating concern currency, which is indicated by using something called currency type. Currency type. And in controlling, there are two types of name. There is two types of data. One is planned values. Second one, actual values. One is planned values. Second one, actual values. This is indicated by using something called value type. Generally, value type 10 indicates actual, 20 indicates planned values. And even in planning, there could be many versions. In planning, there could be many versions like manager version, employee version, level 1, level 2, level 3, like that. So it is indicated by using something called versions. Getting my point? In planning, there could be many versions. So these are the general transactions which you are going to have as part of your controlling. And this is all, a default one. Normally, in the live, you are going to generate some V-type reports, value type reports. If you want to report on actuals, you are going to restrict with actuals. If you want to report on planning values, you are going to restrict with planning values. Always when it comes to controlling, we are going to generate V-type reports, value type reports. Getting my point? Santosh? Value type reporting, nothing more than the plan and actual values. So that may tell you this flow. Data flow is as usual. So first step, you have to create the data source. Second one, check the transaction code KEB0. Then check the extractor RSA3. Then in database system, certificate, where you are going to get transfer structure, then info source, data target. Directly you can upload the info here. Create, update rules, create info package, run the installation, run the data. Is that clear? So let me show you how to create the data source. KEB0 transaction code and just so what is this? No. This is a standard prefix for your data source 1 underscore CO underscore PA for Coupa data source. Then followed by client number. Our client is 800 here in this case. Then followed by name of the operating concern on which you are generating the data source. So here this is a data system where you have got one operating concern active. You can see that, just browse over here. So normally in the live you have to choose the concern, whatever is your operating concern. So I'm just maintaining here idea, then some generic name, let's say this is getting a point. Standard prefix, client, then name of the operating concern, then a generic name. So there are two types of data sources, costing based as well as account based. So if it is costing based, you can have the data related to planning as well as actuals. If it is account based, only actuals. Costing based, both planning and actuals. When it comes to account based, only actuals. But most of the time, the profitability analysis is with respect to planned and actual values. So always we used to go by costing based data sources most of the time. If it is product oriented, costing based. Service oriented, account based. So now we can select this create, execute. You can see these are all the columns related to your operating unit. So everything is selected, but I don't want to select all those columns. First let me deselect all the columns. I can select the required columns then. First if I want to deselect all the columns, you can just run this transaction code. Equal to INIP. Run this transaction code. Except mandatory columns, all the columns are deselected now you can see. So these are the mandatory columns which are selected. Now whatever is required for you can select them. Country, division, land, product, sales are. Now you can select whatever is required for you. Select the required columns. Then check for consistency. Select the required columns, then check for consistency, just continue. Now click on info catalog. Package, create the request, continue. So I told you can go for some selection. All this I have mentioned already. Selection for selective loading, hide is to exclude the unwanted columns. Then you can just save it. So you have to get this message, otherwise the data source creation goes wrong. You have to get the message, otherwise data source creation goes wrong. So just do it, continue, click on generate. Is that clear? Data source is generated. That's what I'm talking about. Now, what is the next step? We have to go for check. Check the extract RSA3. Give the data source name. Do with extract. So it's showing around 1455 records are there. Change the display class. Go with extract. You see what these many records. But want the display list, click on display list, double click. Then correct. So this way is offline. No problem, let's continue. Check the extractor is done. What to do now? Right. Log into PW system. Workbench. Source system. RP system. It's not open. SAP application. This is related to controlling, right? Profitability analysis. Take a right click. Replicate data source. So it's trying to replicate the data source. Yeah. So we have just done replication. Now I'm just going for assigning of resources. So find your data source. So this is your data source. Right click. What is it? So it is a application proposal. So it is a application specific generic extractor. That's why you will get application proposal. So just go with continue. It's going to gather the required objects. So my case go with yes. I can see all the columns are collected from SAP delivered columns you can say. So what to do? Just propose, transfer. Go with, configure. It's done. So what is the next step? Directly create info cube. I'm just creating. Go with create. So template I can use info source now. I can use template info source. Click on template info source. Find info source. Double click. Double click. Now go to dimensions. Create the required dimensions. What to do? Assign the cache to concern dimensions. Right? Anything, Santosh? Sign just, keep just everything is there. Over. Okay. Yeah. So it is activated. What is our next step? Update rules here. Create update rules. So give your info source and just mapping is done. Just go with. Yeah, we're having some connection issues. You can check the data source if you want to verify. Now, let me create the info package. Just refresh once. Go to info sources. Find your info source. Locate. Right click. create info package, save it. As usual, processing your target, update, what is that? Schedule, go. So once installation is successful, what to do? We have to go for delta symbol. So why you are going for installation, it is to go for delta only. No? We have to select the delta. Then the package update mode, delta you have to go for that one. Info package update mode, you have to go for delta. Processing. That's in process. See. So there are thousands here. There are thousands. Thousands. Whatever I told you, that is more than enough. And if you go through your interview questions, I have given some document interview questions. If you go through your interview questions, in the last page you got that. Interview questions. In the final, you have downloaded some document, no? Okay. So now for running deltas, what is that we have to choose? Schedule, go back. So see, controlling, I have not posted any record. So what I'll do, I just made it as just delta, that's all. So anything? So that's all for today.